Hi everyone, welcome to my game review of European Escalation. European Escalation is a real-time strategy game based around the Cold War era of the 1970s between the NATO forces and the Warsaw Pact. It's like a what-if scenario if they ever came into into conflict. What I'll do is in this video tutorial is cover a single player mission, just to give you an idea of the game graphics, menu systems and the units involved. It's not going to be very action packed, but hopefully it will pique enough interest for you to go out and buy the game. What we'll do at a later date is film a proper skirmish between myself and another player against the AI, and you can see how action packed it can get. For now we'll stick with a single player mission, so click solo. This takes us to the mission selection screen. From here I can select playing against a skirmish against the AI, or I can select the missions. Now with the campaign you do have to do the missions in order to gain access to the next mission. You can see which ones I've completed here. The exception to the rule is with the last expansion pack, Fatal Error. That is a totally different campaign and you can start at mission 1 there. With the missions it tells you the date it happened, the forces you control and the level of command, in this case brigade level. You can also get command stars for the missions. In this case for the first mission you can get 12 command stars. Command stars are used to unlock units in the game. You can't use a unit until you've unlocked it. And I'll cover that in on the next screen. So without further ado, let's select a mission and click next. This takes us to the organisation table. It tells us what units we have available to us. Now the units are split into categories, so you have logistics, recon, tanks, infantry support, vehicle and helicopters. The ones that are available to us are logistics. We have a forward operations base, which you would need one of those on the map if you're to use it for resupply and things like that. You have Jupiter supply trucks, again supply and rearm and refuel I'll cover during the mission. Recon, we have a Kurtz recon vehicle, as you can see by the little binoculars. You have we have the Leopard tanks available to us, of which there are 4 variants. Again, I'll cover the different variants in the mission. And under vehicles we have the Marder anti-tank vehicle. Earlier on I mentioned about command stars, so if you look at this looks, it costs 2 command stars. Now as this is greyed out and the command stars are showing, it means I haven't unlocked it yet. As soon as we complete missions I can go into my armory, which is down here, and unlock this vehicle for future missions. For now we're going to leave it greyed out because I haven't got any command stars. So let's get into the mission. Again, it will give a video briefing which I'll skip.
Major enemy infiltration in the area of Grafhorst. At least 1 mechanized battalion. Armored units have been spotted crossing the Iron Curtain at the crossing point. A border guard patrol group has reported being under enemy fire. It sounds like they need help.
Right, and welcome to the mission or battle screen. First thing I'll cover is graphics and terrain and cover. Once it gives me control. And there we go. Right, so, and get rid of the command tip. Right, the terrain in this game is quite generic. You might think it looks quite basic compared to other games. I'm quite impressed with the graphics. You know, the level of detail is quite impressive. Not photorealistic, but you know, it gives you a good idea of what's what. And a good representation of the battlefield. Obviously we can see things like our forests, we have dirt tracks, we have main roads. You also have, where did I see that? Over this side, you can see our little barbed wire fences and whatnot. So yeah, pretty good. The only thing that some people will find strange, now I think it was intended for two reasons. You've got a very generic look to the hills. Like if you look at this hill here, we have the flat ground going along here, then a flat side to the hill, and we also have then the flat top, giving it a very plateau tabletop style. And I think that was for two purposes, which I'll cover in a minute. The graphics themselves, the units, again, they're pretty good models. If I zoom in on these leopard tanks, they are animated, as you can see on Overwatch. The textures, for this particular model, the texture's quite basic, no camo on it, just a standard olive green. As you get, as there are 4 variants to the leopard, you'll see the leopard 4 has a hell of a lot more detail on it. I think that's just to represent, give you a quick idea of the unit, but you've also got the name of the unit in blue above there. Also, if we have a look, where have we got some? Right, we've got some infantry over here. So if I zoom in on those, that's about the closest that I'm going to get to them. Again, pretty good models, and they're not very alert at the minute, but hey ho. And the enemy, we also have some T-34-85s, so pretty good models. Right, the next thing I'll cover is the minimap and menu systems in the game. So obviously at the top right hand corner you can see our minimap. Green forces are computer controlled friendly forces, so these infantry are not under my control. We have red enemy, obviously, just like in any other game, and we have blue units, which are friendly units controlled by me, so these leopards. Under the minimap you have the game battle time, so how long we've been in the mission. You have the points that you've got during the mission. You get your points for completing the objectives. You also have the below this the menu panel, so if I click on HQ it tells us what our objectives are, and we also have our game hints that have appeared during the mission. So if I click continue, we have the chat box, so if we've got any friends online we can chat to them via this. Info units, this is once you know what the unit's capabilities are, you won't want this turned off because it can be quite annoying. What you do is, if you've got info units turned on and you mouse over a unit, an information box comes up telling you what that unit's capabilities are, and if you look at the top right of that information box, you can see it costs 25 units to bring one of those tanks onto the battlefield, and also the range, firepower of its weapons, and down at the bottom you have the size, speed, and the optics range and things like that. It also has the fuel capacity, which I'll cover later. Right, let's turn that info units back off. Right, display zones is, if we zoom out a bit, click on display zones, you see these zones on the map at various points. You have Hotel, Charlie, Kilo, India, Bravo, Foxtrot, Alpha, Juliet, Echo, all the way over here. Now what this is for is, in the single player mission you have to do certain objectives in those sectors. So for instance, on this objective we have eliminate the enemy breakthrough in Charlie sector, and that's worth 1 command star, and that's the sector there. So obviously we've got to eliminate these tanks. when it comes to a skirmish mode, these are actually deployment zones. What you'll do is you'll start with one in blue, which will be under our control, and the rest will be in white, as you can see now. Now as you progress through the map and you capture those zones, they become under your control using a command vehicle. It turns blue and you get extra points for controlling them, and you also get these are where your reinforcements come on. So for example, if I've got control of Hotel, Charlie and Kilo, I'm having a battle in Bravo, but Bravo is not under my control. If I call in reinforcements, they'll come on from the nearest reinforcement zone, and that'll be here in Kilo. Right, if I turn display zones off for a minute, and another cool feature of this game, I'll cover this more later. Right, normally when you move about the mouse, you use your cursor keys and your middle mouse button to rotate. So panning is with the cursor keys, middle mouse button to rotate the view. Now, because I haven't got direct view, like these are not on the center of the screen, I can use track cam, and that'll put them in the center of my view, not that unit but the actual model itself, and I can zoom around that model and zoom, move out, and I've detracked actually, so let's put that back on. So you can't pan, but you can zoom. Let's get back on it again. There we go. Right, so I can zoom in, but you can't pan, because obviously that'll take it away from your centre of vision. So, and zoom out of it. Good function if you want to keep your eye on a particular unit in battle, or if you want to make a short movie of it. Auto zoom doesn't really work. It did do at one stage because I tested it, but let's say if I was out at this view and I clicked auto zoom and on the unit, it used to take you to a view that was about there, but for some reason since I've patched it a few times and that, it doesn't seem to work. Satellite view, right, obviously we've got a normal battlefield view at the minute. Now if I click satellite view, it takes me all the way out to a satellite view where all the units are replaced with symbols to represent those units. If I turn that off, it brings me back in. You can also get to satellite view by mousing all the way out and then mousing all the way back in, which is pretty handy if you want to get an overall view of the battlefield and then a close-up of the battlefield. Right, your menu commands down here. I'll cover these in more detail later on in the game, or show you them in action, but fire position is the equivalent of fire at ground. So it's ideal for artillery, not so much for tanks and infantry, but if I had these were artillery, I could click fire position, comes up with a circle of where I want to attack, and that's going to be the level of attack. If I haven't got line of sight of that space, then the attack will be over a wider area. If I've got a unit that's got line of sight on it, it's more compact and concentrated. Let's turn that let's turn on right, move fast. Normally when on your movement, your unit's movements, you would have turn. Oh, actually I can't turn that off now. There we go. Right, normally you would select the unit and right click, and the unit moves to where it wants to, and it does move across terrain. Now if I click move fast, have the unit selected, click move fast, and then you'll see a target indicator, and I'll move fast to whichever area, no matter whether it's on a road, a field. They will take the fastest route, which is by road. So they will go along that road and then come back off to the area. Again, I'll show you that in a minute. Attack is attack is like the equivalent of attack move, so I could click there and they will move to that destination, and then they will engage any units en route. Whereas if you just click move, a regular move, although they'll engage, they won't stop and fire. Another cool function of this game is I can split this unit into 2 fire teams, which is handy if you want to do ambushes or you want to get firepower from 2 different directions. And how you use that function is with the split and regroup commands. So we select the unit, all 4 units are highlighted within that platoon. So what I do is I can click split, left click on the unit, and you see it removes it from that platoon. Split, left click, removes that from it. So now we can click on that fire team, and that's got 2 tanks, that's got 1 tank, that's got 1 tank. So now I want to put these 2 into the same platoon. So I'll highlight them both, click regroup, and you see they move into position. So now I have 2 fire teams. For now, I'll put them all into all back into one. Regroup. You move. Right. So now what we're going to do is get on with the mission. One thing before I do, I'll quickly cover the platoon info panel or the unit info panel. 4 tanks in this platoon, so we've got the names of the 4 commanders. Underneath that we have these little black pips which turn like a creamy white colour as they engage in combat. So the more experience, this is their experience. Once those pips reach maximum, I gain a combat level, which is good for when you take these through the missions, because their experience is carried over to the next mission. You have the state of the vehicle, so all these white squares meaning I'm at full health. As we take damage, these will be removed. You have the mental state of the crew, so they're calm, so there is a morale factor in the game, which is quite good. You also have, they retreat on their own, so if they are panicked they will reverse out of the battle and out of the combat. But once they're out of the combat, they'll calm down, and then you'll be able to control them again. Then at the bottom you have the name of the unit, the platoon or the tanks, and you have the fuel level. So we've got 998 litres of fuel. You can run out of fuel, so that's where your resupply and rearm come into play. We'll cover that a bit later. You also have the ammo, so you've got a 105mm gun, and you've got 160 rounds between that platoon, and again that goes down and gets used, and you need to resupply that. As I said, you can get damaged, so you can repair vehicles as well, which will be covered later. So we'll get on with the combat. This is this one will be not very good, because it's a training mission, so although they'll move towards me, they won't engage me. So we'll select the unit, we'll click move fast, because I want to move fast up to this tree line, because those T-34s are probably going to try and engage that infantry. So I'll move fast down to that tree line. And move fast. They move down the road in column formation until they get to about here, and then they'll move off the road into their position. If I was just to right click, they would literally just not use the move fast, just right click on the terrain. They would move directly across the terrain. There we go, they come off the road. They've already started engaging the T-34s. Get rid of that. They're in range, as we can see by our green line. They've started moving, and take them out. And see if they're coming to engage me. See they're routing, so you can see by the route symbol above the tank. See it's been hit and destroyed. Now again, they didn't engage me, but later on in this mission we will get some T-34-85s and some T-55s, and they will shoot back. Right, so we've completed that for now. So what I'll do is I'm going to move fast down to this position here. I'll show you things like cover and things like that as well in a hold down position. We've got another combat over here. Actually, so let's go and engage them over here. See, I've just right clicked on that road there and they've come straight across the terrain. And we've completed that mission in Charlie sector. There we go, here's our little Kurtz reconnaissance vehicle. We can tell by the little binoculars next to its name. It gives you a quick overview of those. Right. What I'll do is for this next mission, it says we've got a Recon Bravo sector. So I'm going to send my recon vehicle into cover. Let's get him over here in this swamp. This swamp does give us a certain amount of cover, although not as much as say a wood. You've got to be careful with swamps and woods or any uneven terrain, because you can detrack your vehicles, and or you can get stuck in the mud and it comes up with a little red time in seconds of how long it's going to take to get out of it. Right, as you can see, we've reconned the area. We've got two T-34-85s. So I'm going to move these into, well actually it's not giving me control of these, so it says I haven't completed it, so we'll have to push forward a bit. So I'll go a little bit out of the swamp. There we go. That's completed. Now it gives me control of these leopards. Now I would normally do the split routine, and I'd send a tank unit, a combat team round here and attack from this direction, but for the purposes of brevity I shall just do a one-off attack straight from here. So we'll push them into the swamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift right click that hedge, so that will set a waypoint for them to go to that hedge. And we'll zoom in on these T-34s because we like to see those get blown up. Am I in range? Well, I'm not in range yet, but we're getting closer slowly. So right click on the unit and they'll move forward to engage them. See them trying to run away. So we've got hit, and you can see the experience I'm getting from them. We've got one more there, he's took out as well. So what else have we got? We've got another one coming in there. He's down as well. Right, so I'm going to move my reconnaissance vehicle forward. Still move fast. See him move towards the road. and we'll follow up with the tanks with a move command. So track cam. Select the Kurtz again. And it's going to move forward to this tree line here. And we'll follow up with the tanks. And I'm going to move the whole unit over to this tree line over here. Right, once these get into the tree line, you can also see that the units turn blue. Now this means that they're in cover, and it should be harder to hit them and spot them. Obviously we've just engaged some T-55s. As you can see, it's red, so it's harder to hit. He's coming out to engage me. And we took him out. Again, don't forget it's only a tutorial mission, so you're not going to get much contact or combat, sorry. Let's scout my... Right, we've got another enemy coming across the bridge. T-34-85. Already hit him once, that was obviously the one that we spotted earlier. And we should get something here. We got some unidentified, you can tell, silhouettes with no name. Once they come closer, we'll be able to tell what they are. There we go, this are SPWs, anti-tank guided weapons. And we've got those, and we should get something else in a minute. Some infantry coming out from over here. So, there we go. Yeah, some Schutzen anti-tank infantry. So they're stunned by the firepower, and getting killed by the firepower. They're retreating, and we killed them, and that's the objective complete. We've also got another T-34-85, T-55 over there. Right, now it's given us control of these two Jupiter trucks. These are our supply trucks. As I said earlier, let's get rid of these. As I said earlier, we have, if we click on our units, a new objective. Right, we click on our units and it shows us that we've only got 675 litres of fuel left and 76 rounds left. Luckily we've not been damaged, so we don't need any repairs. But what we do is we use our supply trucks, which says I've got a status bar above them showing how much they've got inside and what they're carrying. So we'll move them over. We don't actually want to move them into the combat zone, so we move them a little bit behind, which will move them to there. And in fact we'll do a move fast onto there, and they'll go along the road as quickly as possible. What will happen is once they reach that destination and stop, you'll see a big yellow circle appear, and anything in range of that circle gets rearmed and resupplied. They're not quite in range, so let's move them forward a bit. Select those. And you say that probably that vehicle was getting resupplied. And you can see the fuel and ammo icons appearing above the units, showing that they're being resupplied. and we've emptied out the trucks. So normally what you would do is send them back to a forward operation base to get resupplied, but as we've not got one in this mission, we can't. So without further ado, we'll carry on with the mission. What we'll cover while we're here, let's move that reconnaissance vehicle over to this side. Right, now it's given us the opportunity, we've got the deployment menu available to us now. Because I've run out of supply, I could bring on another couple of Jupiter trucks, but we won't need it for this mission. I've already completed it, so I know what I can use. What I will do is I'll go on to tanks and reconnaissance. Now if I choose Leopard 1A4s and choose a platoon of 4 of them, it means I won't have enough to bring anything else on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Leopard A3s, which are 35 points per tank. So I'm going to have 4 of those. So I'll left click, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that brings some silhouettes of where I want them to go to. So what I'll do is I shall left click there, and we'll see them come on from this deployment zone here, and you'll see them come on in a second. There we go, 4 times Leopard 1A3s. This leaves us with 60 points. So what I'll do is go on to recon, look at my Kurtz, which costs 30 points. So I'll bring one of those on, and I'll have that going to the same place there. It'll take a bit of time for them to get there. We've got an SP1 over here, and someone else is firing at us, which is this UAZ and the SPW. Right, so am I in range? Let's get my leopard selected. Right, we're out of range, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the whole combat team down to this hedge line here, try and give us a bit of cover, and hopefully be in range of taking out those enemy forces. We'll get this Kurtz that we've just brought on, and we'll take him to this tree line here, and we've got an SP1 there as well. Routed him. What else coming on? Some T-34-85s. Well, destroyed him. So they're engaging the T-34-85s automatically. You can tell by that warning sign that we've taken it here. So we'll click on the Leopard. You can see that the first one is a bit worried and he's got one of his health taken off. Fuel leak, and he's dead. And we've got some of these other forces here. He's gained a combat level. Now, one thing that is, I wouldn't say it's annoying, but it would have been handy if you was able to select individual units within a platoon. Now, I could split them and move them, but you don't want to be doing that when there's a lot of combat going on. You just haven't got time. But it'd be nice to be able to single click, put that tank there, single click, put that tank there. But as it happens, you can see I would like these in this hedge line, but given the way we've moved it, it's not allowing you to do that. So I've got two in cover there, and they've moved. Sometimes they'll move themselves into cover, but then sometimes they won't. So, which is a bit of a pain sometimes. Right, let's go back over to these. So we spotted a T-55, so we want to get our 183 Leopards into the action. Attack move, and they'll stop and move. See, I've took a hit from this SP1 over here. Let's move to that front hedge line and we'll hopefully engage that SP1. And he's blown up. So pretty cool, and we'll push forward to the next tree line. They'll move as well. Right, what I'll do over here is select this Kurtz, and I'm going to move to this hedge line here, and I'll move the tanks behind him once he's got ahead a bit, so he's got line of sight. And let's move them over there, and we'll move this combat group over here to this tree line, and we have an SP1 which we spotted earlier. I just took out a unit there. I think if I remember rightly that was a ZSU. So we can bring on a supply truck. Right, 15, so we can afford to bring on 2 supply trucks. So let's see the state of our units. 736 litres with 75 ammunition and with a little bit of damage. If we look at this one over here, our Kurtz is okay, but we've got some serious damage on one of our 1A3, so we're going to bring on a supply truck for that one, and we'll put that to there, and then we'll bring on another supply truck to this side down here, and we'll take that to there. As you can see, the move command, although they're moving faster than they would going directly across the terrain, but obviously you got to be careful when you use the move fast, because if there were some enemy forces over here, obviously it's going to move straight into them. Now they probably won't get destroyed, but they will get captured and they'll be used by the enemy, so be careful when you use it. There we go. And let's see if he resupplies. There we go. See him being rearmed, refueled and repaired. So our tank there should be, hopefully, I think I might have used everything. No, not yet. And right, there's not enough in there, so I could have used 2 trucks for that, but we didn't have enough points. Hopefully this truck, no, they've used all that up as well, so okay, we'll go with the battle as is then. So we'll bring these forward to this tree line here, and we'll send this one into this tree line, see what we've got. Destroyed that SP1 that we spotted earlier, so we're going to move down here Move our tanks down here as well.
Zeit für ein kleines Tänzchen.
We're going to go down this hedge line of trees, and we should hopefully spot something down here in this hedge line somewhere. Let's move him up a bit.
Schleichen rein. Speer bereit, Kommandant.
There we go.
Wir stellen hier einen Beobachtungsposten auf. Haben Sie was entdeckt? Wir stellen hier einen Beobachtungsposten auf. Haben Sie was entdeckt?
See here we've got track in the mud. So 7 seconds, so it slows the rate of movement down. But that's the price you pay for moving in forests. There we go, some Schutzen. Let's now destroy them, so objective complete. As I said earlier, when we go to the debriefing screen, it will show that we've not completed the secondary mission, but which was there.
The resistance at Urbisfelde has contained the first assault, but NVA mechanized columns managed to break through at other points.
Right, that's it for this game review. I hope you enjoyed it and gave you a bit more of an insight to the game. As I said earlier, I will try and get a video of a proper skirmish where you can see the computer fighting back at you, or enemy players fighting back at you, and which makes the game a bit more intense. So take care and goodbye.